economy and the cost of living in this country. Vice President Harris, you and President Trump were elected 4 years ago, and your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year, because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because there was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. Yeah. I'll do it again and even better.
We are going to get to
he's not wrong for that, though.
Border security during this debate, but I would like to let Vice President Harris respond on the economy here.
Well, I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you all in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook a bunch of lies, grievances, and name-calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. I believe very strongly that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us, and I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
President Trump will give you a minute here to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic, and the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs bounce back, and it bounced back and it went to their benefit. But I was the one that created them. They know it, and so does everybody else.
Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond.
So Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
That's just a soundbite. They gave her that to say. Look, I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and many of those professors, the top professors, think my plan is a brilliant plan. It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. And just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan. And it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, we'll try and lower taxes.
She did.
She doesn't have
the same
a plan.
as Biden.
She doesn't
if you
have
look
a
at
plan.
her plan, it's the same as Biden.
Mr. President, I do want to drill down on something you both brought up. The Vice
But he does make a good point, yes. She did copy the same plan as Biden. If you look at her plan, Biden is similar. Go ahead. No, first of all, I want to say both of them did a great debate. I'm being honest. It wasn't that much. Like, I thought it was going to be a lot of chit-chat, screaming, yelling, gossip. It wasn't that. They really was focused on the issue. And that's why I kept saying, I say, I hope this debate, they focus on the issue, and that's what they was doing for it. And good job for Donald Trump. He actually could control himself. Because normally Donald Trump, he would be outlandish and sporadic and doing no crazy stuff. He didn't do it in this debate. So good job for both of them, for how they conduct themselves during this debate. Now, both of them did say some very key component because to me, Trump doesn't do a great job when it came to the aspect of the pandemic. Now, when it came to the aspect of the economic side of it, I think he did a tremendous job because at that time, a lot of people was working, especially black men. A lot of black men was working. A lot of jobs was available than what it is today. They promised a lot of Americans more jobs. Right now, even during the summer, a lot of jobs are not being taken away. So, this is under her administration team, which is Joe and her. So, this is a promise that, like, America really have to think and get out of their emotion, really think logically. She's in office now. What have she done? Has people able to get jobs? People able to walk outside before the pandemic happened, people was able to go outside. There were jobs available. It was too much job available. Now when people walk outside, they can't even find a job. Well, the job they actually want. So Trump did an awesome good job, but at the same time, when it came to the aspect of handling the pandemic, he should have done an even greater job. My thing is the Democrats are afraid because a lot of them that's in office right now are going to get terminated as soon as Trump get into office. They don't want to lose their position. They're seeing billions and billions of dollars over there to the Ukraine, billions and billions of dollars over there to China. But yet, when Trump was in office, he was able to get money from China back into the U.S. as it should be. If we give you money, we need to get our money back in exchange. We need to get our money back with interest. The Biden administration haven't done that. I'm just being honest. Go ahead, Akim.
Brother, great point. I want to read this because this is going to segue into what I'm saying. Joe Don't Hurt Him said he did improve the economy, but only gave tax breaks to the very wealthy. He could have done both. Facts. But here's the thing. I'll try to be very quick about this. You're not going to be able to please everybody, but the core things you can do can make sense. When I heard the economic plan, she was talking about small businesses. She was talking about home ownership. She was talking about all these things. You can do all that, but if a person still don't got a job, how are they going to pay for this stuff? Now, a lot of people might not like the idea of giving tax breaks to the wealthy, but let's remember something. When Trump gave tax breaks, Apple was one of them. Apple shifted all this money and came back to the United States and built a whole new building and started giving jobs. Not everybody's going to be a small business owner. Not everybody's going to be able to buy a house. But if you can bring the corporations here so regular people can get jobs, we need factories, we need farms, we need more incentives. You got to understand something. America runs on money. And if you're taxing them, I think what the corporate tax is like 28% or 26 or 27.
I think it's high. It's higher
It's
than
high.
that. Yes.
Which Kamala says she wants to raise it. What you think is going to happen? They're going to go to Mexico. They're going to go to Mexico. They're going to go to the Philippines. That's where the call centers are at. Let's also forget, a lot of people don't remember this, but when you was filing your taxes under Trump, he did get some tax breaks where people was cashing in them checks. So we got to look at it from this. She did say a lot of good things, but did not talk about how you're going to bring the jobs here. How you're going to get construction jobs, trade on people welding, plumbing jobs, all these things that really matter. And even the real local jobs that where people, he said America runs on decade. Go ahead. I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Jordan, you muted. You're muted.
Yeah, when it comes to the Kamala also with Joe Biden and everything, what they've been in the last 4 years and everything, there has, like I said, you guys are right, there has been no jobs out here, especially in America, building jobs. I do remember job like with Trump, he wanted, get more oil here in America, which will produce more jobs here in America and everything. Not going to Russia or not going to China or other countries got to try to get oil as well. And does Ukraine got oil too, I believe, fellas?
Yep.
Ukraine?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And all the countries got oil.
Yeah. That's and how that situation is going up as well. With Donald Trump, when he was with president, he also talked about bringing jobs back here in America. We need to drill oils, energy jobs, which that needs to be built on. And I don't see why Joe Biden really pushed that or put money to try to get energy jobs here in America, because we do need that. Also fossil fuel and everything like that as well. So with Kamala, to me, I agree with Donald Trump saying. You see, basically just told Joe Biden's sticky notes and this. I'm doing the same that Joe Biden did. But the thing is, Kamala, as you being the vice president, what did you and Joe Biden really done, just to build more jobs here in America? And we have a problem with that and everything. So, I feel like Kamala should have did a better job of doing better research. When it comes to debate, if I want to get the American vote, what jobs that I could, even though you really didn't do anything, or really speak of the details of what you did to bring jobs here in America, because you've been in, like I said, you've been in the White House for 4 years, and technically we haven't seen the jobs that you kind of really pushed out there, especially from the Democratic Party and everything. So for me, with this Kamala, I think she lowered the ball up. You know, how she gonna get jobs here? Because Donald Trump, like I said, he has a plan, and he's gonna stick with the plan when he was president before. It's like, hey, I'm digging more oil here, and I'm gonna build more energy jobs here. Kamala Harris, she should have did a better job of saying,